Hi guys, this is Dr. Mike with Modern Chiropractic, and I'm about to have a very interesting conversation. I'm looking forward to it. I wanted to get it on film because we're going to be talking about some topics that you just don't hear every day. I'm here with Angela Sheehan. She's the owner of the Ark of Wellness out in Springfield, Kentucky. It's an off-grid retreat where you can go and disconnect and ground yourself and get your healing therapies on, so that when you come back to normal life, you've got a little bit of peace of mind. And so the Ark of Wellness is hosting all kinds of retreats. It's a special place. It hasn't been around very long. The vision's great. If you're interested, Angela Sheehan, the Ark of Wellness, look her up, and they host all kinds of retreats. Sound baths, I've been out there for. There's just a lot of stuff going on. And if you're looking for like-minded folk, There they are. But what we're going to talk about today, I'm so looking forward to it. So we're just going to consult on somebody. And I knew when she asked me the question that we were going to be thinking outside the box, because this person's already done everything inside the box and things are getting worse. And so I don't even know really what we're going to talk about or what we're going to get into, but I thought that it might be interesting just to record it, because this is how people collaborate and think of innovative, solutions to things. I'm looking for what's been missed. I might have a question about one treatment, but really, I think we're going to try to put stuff into a bigger picture, and how does this one treatment fit into a bigger picture, and maybe what might have been missed, because a lot of people might have these same symptoms. They may not be exactly the same, but they might identify with some of the stuff that this person you're talking about is experiencing. And so you're going to pick my brain a little bit, and I'm just going to see if we can come up with some creative solutions for somebody who's really been around a long time and done a lot of treatments, and every test has not given them the information. But when your life and your health is so bad, but yet the body's designed to heal, it can't really be that hard. There's got to be something fundamentally missed, or just maybe we're just treating the wrong thing, and maybe the symptom of the problem isn't actually the problem. And so all I remember from talking with you was brain fog, and possibly an environment with mold, which is just its own thing, and then all the associated things that go along with poor health, brain fog, mold, fatigue, things like that. And so we're not going to say anybody's name. We could call it anxiety, or we can call it any numerous things that they're having associated with the brain fog. So I'm going to let you talk about whatever condition you want to talk about, because we're not giving somebody's name out.
So just to kind of give a background, so I believe that you have to do mental, emotional, spiritual, energetic healing, right? So the physical body is what brings us to our knees. That's what stops us in our tracks. So with this particular person, I've been working with them for about 3 years. They came into the regenerative health field looking for root cause solutions. They've done a lot of things. So they have huge dysregulation of their sleep, to where they are not feeling like they can function a normal life. They can't do appointments until a very narrow window of time in the evening, not until like 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock. And then say from 6 until midnight, that's like their prime life. But the rest of the time, very dysregulated. A lot of anxiety, a lot of emotional turmoil, a lot of tears. As far as things that we have done, he has gotten a full workup, lab-wise, including the genetic factors, Lyme disease, microtoxins, checking for mold. He does have a history of ADHD. He was on ADHD medicines for a long time. He ended up weaning himself off of those. Actually, he stopped on cold turkey. So he feels like that might have been part of his falling off the cliff with dysregulation. He also received some vaccines. That is part of his dysregulation intensified after that time as well. So there's a lot of toxins going in, but I will tell you, in the last 2 to 3 years, since he has been doing all these detox protocols, so he's done all of the supplements, he's done NAD, he's done methylene blue, he's done a nutritional profile and done all the replacements on the things that might be out of balance. The MTHFR factor, he has made sure he's getting methylated vitamins. He's done red light therapy. He still does red light therapy, twice a day. Really needed right now in the winter time, and that helps. All of those things help. His lab work actually looks great, except for there are still some mold in there. But his labs have come tremendously improvement in the last 2-3 years. But he's still having that dysregulation where he doesn't feel like he can go out of his house and have appointments. Like if he's going to have an appointment, he can have no more than one appointment a day, and it has to be in that narrow window of time in the evening. As you can imagine, it's stressful on his relationships and interactions with other people. He's got great family support. However, they don't understand where he's coming from. And I will tell you, I have gotten to the point that I really feel like it is a emotional and energetic problem. I think that the healing from the physical aspect has occurred. He's also done homeopathy. He takes a homeopathic tincture that is specially designed for him. All of these things that we've done, giving him things, have made improvements, but he keeps falling back into that old rut. So in my understanding and what I have seen, I feel like those patterns, he's not able to break out of those patterns. So one of the books that I was reading about toxicity talks about using microfrequency currents in order to basically reboot the brain, to say, okay, you cannot keep going down this path anymore because it is not healing to you. And so it just kind of, it's like a reboot of a computer is the way they describe it. So that's when I reached out to you. I do different energetics myself. We've also done life with him. We've also done ionizing foot baths on a regular basis. We've done biofeedback. He's done neurofeedback. He's done hyperbaric chamber. I mean, if you can think about it, he's done some of it for extended periods of time. But the microcurrent frequency interruption, we have not done that.
Right. So the book had mentioned frequency-specific microcurrent
It had.
as a treatment option. And we had talked a little bit earlier, and you had said something, and I had reworded it in a way, it's saying the same thing, but it's saying it differently. And I'm going to say it in the different way that I said it, but what you were saying was exactly the same thing. You, in my opinion, you've got physical problems, you got chemical problems, and by problems, I mean toxicities, energies, things that are within the body that need to be released somehow. Physical, chemical, energetic, and spiritual. And Western medicine only deals, and they hide the energetic and spiritual from you. They deal with the physical and the chemical, but the energetic and the spiritual are just as important, but they get ignored because there's no patents for chemical drugs are patented. That's why they push it. There's no patents for this energetic and spiritual stuff. You can't patent acupuncture.
Right.
But that is a form of an energetic thing.
Absolutely.
And spiritual matters too. If you're hopeless and helpless and you're walking around and I must know everything, and the fact that I don't know it means that it's no answer, that gives you no hope.
Right.
So things from our childhood, even things that may have been done to us, or situations that we put ourselves in, or situations that people put us in that were traumatic for us, those things get ingrained. And if we walk around with a bad spirit and we're thinking about negative things all the time, negative things are going to happen because that's what we focus on, because our spirit's been beaten down. And the spiritual aspect of it can keep us in a mode where we're not going to heal. It can directly cause all these central nervous system problems that this guy's having. That's how a spiritual problem can cause it. But we're going to talk about energetic, with this frequency specific microcurrent. And when I'm using frequencies of energy to treat inflammation, it's either gonna do something and it's gonna help, or it's gonna do nothing at all. If the body accepts it, it will help it return to homeostasis, to balance.
Yeah.
If the body doesn't accept it, then it won't work. Nothing will happen.
Okay.
And so
So there's no harm.
there's no harm.
Yeah.
You never know what's going to work. Nothing bad's going to happen, but you know what? It just might help.
Yeah.
And when it helps, the miracle happens. But that also, if I treat an inflammation in something and it makes them feel better, it kind of tells me that the something I treated was the problem too. It can help diagnose problems as well. And so you don't always have to know what exactly the problem is in order to fix it when you're dealing with energy. So when we're talking about the guy you were talking about, I want to say, let's look through the symptoms.
Yeah.
Because the symptoms and the underlying problem are never the same thing. Even the term symptoms, you know it's not the right underlying problem because it's a symptom, just because you called it a symptom.
Right.
But we've been trained to think that the symptom is the problem.
Right.
So let's call his problem anxiety
Yeah.
and lack of sleep.
Yeah.
Okay. There are other things going on. I'm minimizing things greatly.
Right.
Because there's pain and there's fatigue and there's a lot of stuff. But what is the underlying thing which is causing this to happen? This is brain inflammation and central nervous system
Dysregulation.
problem,
Yeah.
dysregulation. And when things get dysregulated, it's going to turn the signal up or it's going to turn the signal down.
Yeah.
If you turn the brain signal up, you get schizophrenia. But if you turn it down, you get depressed.
Yeah.
If you turn it up, you get a whole lot of pain. If you turn it down, your organs and stuff just doesn't work.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to energetically up or down.
Yeah.
But what can also happen, and this is how the frequency-specific microcurrent can help. It can help bring the areas back into balance.
Yes.
But let me explain just a little bit about how it actually does this.
Okay.
We're going to talk a little bit about energy, and we're going to talk about circuits within the body because we're electromagnetic beings.
Right.
We have sensors. If I touch a hot stove, there's a sensor. It tells me it's hot. It's going to tell my brain it's hot. My brain's going to interpret the signal, and it's going to have an action. And when I remove my hand from the stove, the sensor says it's not hot anymore.
Right.
Okay, that's a circuit.
Right.
But let's put this in terms of his brain. There is something in his body that's telling it that
It's not safe.
it's not safe, but I don't know. Let me think of a different analogy. When you have a brain that is inflamed and it's turning these signals up, it means that he might not really be in that much pain, but the body is sending a signal up to his brain, but the brain is inflamed. So what's happening is the brain is turning the signal up.
Yeah.
And it's intensifying
Yes,
it.
exactly.
It's not normal for somebody with a body that is designed to heal itself and regulate itself. It's not normal for somebody to be doing that much work and still be having these problems.
Exactly.
There's got to be more going on to it. So energetically, his brain is turning these signals up,
Yep.
and it's expressing itself as the pain and the anxiety.
Yeah. So in that book that I was reading through, it talked about the limbic system, so that's your emotional center. It talks about mast cell stimulation, so just staying on that fight or flight freeze. And then it also talked about, what was that? Oh, the vagus nerve.
Okay.
You know, the vagal system. And all of them are intertwined, but again, it goes back to that emotional, spiritual component. But I believe, as you do, and because I've seen it, that if we can disrupt it from an energetic standpoint, then he will have an opportunity to truly reset. And then he'll have to claim that reset too.
Yes. Oh, yes. Ooh, he'll have to claim the reset. That's a good one.
Yeah.
You know, when people start walking around saying, I have this and I have that and I have Lyme disease.
Yeah.
And When you start identifying with your condition, you start becoming entwined. And trust me from personal experience, when you identify with something, it is hard to say, I don't have that
Yes,
anymore.
exactly.
This is very important. And I'm going to come back to the brain stuff.
Yeah.
You are experiencing the symptoms of this, but you don't have that.
Yes.
The name of that disease has nothing to do with what the underlying condition is.
Right.
His body is so inflamed because he has got too many chemicals in it, and the chemicals aren't coming out. But what happens is these chemicals, the body's got to store them somewhere. And it puts them everywhere. And it puts it in the brain. And it puts it in the liver. And it puts it in the organs. It puts it in the cell walls. But it also packs it in these sensors.
Yeah.
And sometimes, and this is what's happening with brain that is turning a signal up, the sensor is telling it, the body, to heal. And the body's producing inflammation. But what happens is the body should actually heal itself. And the sensor should sense that it's healed up and turn off.
Right.
Okay? What I have learned with the frequency devices is that sometimes I'm able to turn off inflammation. And this is how I think it works. You can prove me wrong. But I think that I'm able to turn that sensor off because the sensor is stuck in the on mode and it's continually producing all this inflammation. It's not normal to have all this inflammation years later. The sensor, because the body is so toxic internally, the toxins are in the sensor and the sensor is stuck in the on position. If the sensor would turn itself off, it would tell the cell, I no longer need you to produce inflammation to heal, and the cell would stop producing inflammation, and when the inflammation goes down, the pain goes down. I think that the problem is with the sensor.
Yeah, I agree.
So these sensors apparently have a frequency associated with them depending upon the area that they're in. And so sometimes we can treat the brain for inflammation and try to turn off some of these sensors, but it allows the body to go back into homeostasis and they immediately feel better. That's the thing with the frequency-specific microcurrent. You can get the toxins out, but sometimes these sensors are still they're stuck in the on position. Once the body gets turned up, it's really hard for it to calm back down. And if you've got an energetic issue, it's not a physical chemical problem, it's an energetic issue, and we can get these sensors to turn off. It turns off the signaling to the cell.
Yeah.
I think that sensor activates the epigenetics, which cause the cell to turn the inflammatory response on. So I think by deactivating these sensors, we are deactivating the epigenetics, which is deactivating the expression of the DNA,
So
which
talk to
turns
me
the pain off.
specifically with this, how do we turn off that sensor? And what does that look like? What does a therapy to turn off that sensor look like?
You would talk with somebody and you would play his story in reverse.
Okay.
What was he exposed to? He was exposed to mold. He's had traumas from his childhood. Did a car accident, rear end, start all of this stuff? What put it over the edge? What were you exposed to? Energetically, you might have a torn and broken spinal cord or something that caused this. You might have chemical organic toxins within the brain. You might have mercury poisoning on the thyroid. You want to look at all these different energies that they say that they're exposed to. This thing caused meningitis in my childhood, and now I've got a really problem later on in life. Energetically, we might want to look at inflammation on the meninges.
Okay.
Maybe put that in the treatment. And so after looking at what energies, what is the thing that set it over the edge? We've got to find the trigger. See, this guy, we haven't found a trigger. There is a trigger with this guy that's keeping him inflamed.
In his mind, he thinks that the trigger was, 2020 and getting a bad shot.
That's what put it over the edge. But he had a lot of stuff brewing, and that put it over the edge. If it's continually going on and on and on, we need to make sure he has clean air, clean water, and clean food.
Yeah.
So if he's living in an environment with mold, that's an environment that is keeping his immune system inflamed. There's an environmental thing going on somewhere. But there's really three. We need to figure out what all three are. And it might be mercury, heavy metal poisoning. It might be mold in the environment and stuff like Lyme, bacterial issues. I don't know.
They are really great on what they eat. They eat very clean, organic, cook their meals every day. So food, they're doing great. Water, he's shifted over to using more like ozonated water.
Okay.
So and in purified
But it's
water,
cleaned, yes,
it's
cleaned.
clean.
No
Yes.
aluminum, no
Yes.
fluoride chlorine.
No,
Okay.
no, like just regular tap water.
Okay.
Absolutely not. So those components he's doing well. We have run the ozone machine through his house to help with the mold.
Okay.
He has done EMF remediation on the home. His wife benefits from the EMF remediation as well.
Okay.
So she's noticing an improvement with her sleeping patterns. And he was initially, and that's the thing, all of the things that is done, like when he was doing HBOT, when he was doing the ozonated water, all of the things that he was doing, it gives him relief for a certain period of time, but then he backtracks.
Something's been missed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if we just, in my experience, if mold is in the house, people want to be in the house all the time.
Okay.
They don't feel right, and they don't want to go outside because they feel funny. They want to be inside because that's their home space, that's their safe space. That's where the mold's at.
Okay.
Watch their actions. Whatever's causing it is in their life all the time, and they think it's their buddy. It's the drink that they drink every single day. Don't make me give up my Big Red. Okay, or my alcohol.
Right.
Or it could be a food, and they got to have it on stock all the time. They can't run out of it because that's their thing.
Yeah.
Look and see if their thing is actually helping them, or is it actually the problem. If they don't want to give it up, that's probably the problem.
Okay.
Because if they didn't have a problem with it, they'd give it up.
Right.
You see what I mean?
Right.
If they'll fight you tooth and nail, that's probably the problem.
Okay.
Because their emotions are tied into that. We tend to crave the things that are causing the problem. So sit back and watch them. What do you do all the time? Is it healthy? Could that be the problem? I know you said that there's no fillings in the teeth, but we've got to remove. It doesn't matter if they've got mercury poisoning. At this point, you have to fix every single thing that's wrong with that person. So aluminum, mercury, barium, cadmium, bismuth, you need a plan to remove heavy metals.
Well, and I almost think being on all these different supplements, maybe that just needs a break from all of those as well.
I think that we take way too many supplements because we take them because we don't want to do something wrong.
Yeah.
We want to make sure, because our butt's on the line. Right. We want to make sure we're doing everything we could possibly do to fix everything. But even doctors like me are influenced by advertising. Yeah. Most of them supplements are made from synthetic-based products. They're not natural in nature. Yeah. And synthetic products are based on oil and petroleum, and when you consume oil and petroleum, you get cancer.
Right.
So we're trying to do the right thing, but we're being sold. And so, and also, when you take things in isolation like zinc, you throw off balances with other minerals, and it makes your body lose certain minerals if you take some. You don't find zinc natural in nature. It's always got these other things with it. So we're trying to do that because zinc's good for the immune system, right? Well, it makes you lose magnesium, and you need magnesium more than you need zinc. So maybe they are causing problems. Are they taking that to treat a symptom, or are they treating an underlying problem? And I'll tell you what his underlying problem is. He's not making enough energy to continue healing.
Yes.
Lack of power is his dilemma.
Yes.
You got to get his body functioning more efficiently at producing energy. And part of that is removing the things that are keeping us clogged up, which is the detoxification and
Right.
stuff that we've been doing. But what are we detoxing? Are we detoxing bacteria, yeast, parasite? Those aren't, I think the things that are really causing us the problem are chemicals.
Yes.
And where are these chemicals stored at? And what are these chemicals? And how do you get to them? Detoxing isn't some 48-hour Hollywood fad diet where you drink cayenne pepper and sit on the toilet. That's not a detox. Detoxing is pulling it out of your tissues so that when the new tissues are being built, they don't have those toxins in them. It means repairing your cellular membranes. And so you got to really look at how the body produces energy and focus on things that help it produce energy. The body will prioritize digesting food over healing itself. You want it to heal itself, but really you need to be breaking your food down, which means fixing your mitochondrial dysfunction actually starts at your teeth, because you got to break the food down to get it into a form where it can be broken down to another form where it can be broken. You don't start at the mitochondria, you start at the digestion. And so you've got to focus, put your fork down. This is a precious thing. Eating food's the most precious thing you're going to do all day. Why are you in such a hurry to be done? Chew your food. You're not a wild dog. You know, there's no teeth in your stomach. They're here. If you don't taste it, I mean, if you don't have it touch saliva, you can't even taste it. So slow down and break it down. The best way to, experience the taste twice as long is to chew it twice as long. And focus on digesting food. Don't put all your money into fixing, because when you don't digest your food, you're going to get all these other problems. You're focused on fixing all these other problems, but really digesting the food and getting it into your body in the proper form, in the right ratio, so your body can use it, is where we need to focus our energy at the beginning, not on treating the Lyme and killing the bacteria. You got to create an internal terrain that's healthy and nourished. Too many chemicals have got into his body, and his mom probably put them into him when he was born. He was probably born from a person that put a bunch of chemicals, and although he looked like a cute baby, he was probably sick. And then, life happens and more chemicals come in. But those chemicals, how did they get there? They went in your mouth. And then how did they get past here? The body's supposed to keep them out. Well, your digestion failed, and your gut failed, and stuff slipped in there, and it went to different places. We focus on the places it went to in the autoimmune disease, but what's it doing there, and how did it get there? It came from your mouth. Let's look at what you're putting in your mouth. And work on breaking the food down in the digestion, because the body will prioritize digestion of food over healing. If you can't get it into your body, you can't heal with it. And we just ignore the digestion of food properly.
I will tell you, they are very good about the intermittent fasting. Basically there's one big meal a day, and then there's a couple snacks. And that's it. Now he feels like he needs to take the enzymes and the probiotics, the pre and postbiotics, in order to break those things down. I think there's a time and a place for those, but I also think that if the body's doing what it needs to do, that usually takes care of itself. Without a lot of adding on to break it down.
But you old and whooped. When you were younger, you had that vitality in you. You had the ability to do it, but now you're old and whooped. And the food doesn't even have the nutrients in it that it used to. There's targeted supplementation for very specific purposes, and then there's taking a whole bunch of stuff. You need help breaking that food down. You don't understand what enzymes do, and systemic enzymes and digestive enzymes, not understanding that concept makes it hard to heal, because the only thing that puts vitality back into us is raw food. Only life begets life. When you cook your food, although you release nutrients and it makes it more palatable, you cook the life out of your food. So now you're eating dead food. This is a big deal. living food promotes life. Cooked, dead, devitalized food steals our life force to digest it. So every cooked meal you've ever eaten has stolen your life force that's there to heal you, and it got diverted to digesting your food. Every cooked meal you've ever eaten, which is like every single one, except for maybe the salad that comes with the meal.
Yeah.
Humans cook all their meals, and we eat all this dead, devitalized food that doesn't give us any vitality. And then we wonder why we get sick later on in life, because we've used up all of our vitality was there to heal our body. But because all that food's dead, it got diverted to digesting that dead food.
Wow.
Raw living food will digest itself, and it doesn't require us to expend any energy. But when you cook it, you're living on dead food. It gives you minerals, but it steals your life. That's why when you get older, you need help. That specifically, because if you don't give it the help, it's going to steal your vitality to break it down. So you're like, here, consume this and leave my stuff where it's at. But when you consume enzymes, you are actually putting that vitality back into your body. Enzymes aren't minerals and vitamins. They don't get used up once and go out. Your body recycles them. So if you put 10 enzymes into your body today, it goes and does work, and then your body scoops them back up and puts it in the bank. And you put 10 more tomorrow, and it goes and breaks down some protein, but the body scoops it back up and puts it in the bank. And like compound interest, enzymes are their own thing. People can't heal because they don't know what life force vitality actually is. How do you get it back? Those are your enzymes. And when you cook it, it's dead. And when you can no longer have enough enzymes to repair yourself, you're going to die.
Yeah.
And if you use those enzymes up early digesting food, you're going to die earlier.
Okay. That makes sense.
Every cooked meal you've ever eaten has shortened your life because it stole your vitality to digest that dead food. And if you don't know this, if you don't know, systemic, you got to take them between meals. If there's food there, it's going to digest the food. If there's no food there, it's going to go heal your gut and brain.
Your nuts, your fruit, your vegetables. What about your meat? You can't eat your meat raw.
You can if you kill it right then like you're supposed to and eat it on the spot.
Yeah, but that doesn't happen often.
Well, then it's inconvenient truth that you put yourself in a situation where you got to have meat days after nature's nature. Dogs don't go cook their meat. Name one other animal that cooks their meat.
Yeah, there isn't.
And they all live on water.
Yeah.
We think we can't have raw food, and water isn't fulfilling enough. So humans don't want to eat raw anything. They cook all their food, and then they live on Cokes and stuff.
Yeah.
Why do we get sick? Never mind the 40 years of Cokes I've been drinking. It must have been that one during the COVID. That's, this stuff adds up.
Yeah.
And if you don't understand vitality and how to increase it, and not the meaning of life, but what life actually is. Science hates enzymes. You can take a picture of a tomato. It's called Carillion photography. And you can see the glow coming off of it. That is the enzyme healing potential. That's the vitality. And you cook that tomato, and you'll see that vitality go, and then you got a dead tomato. The live one's got all this vitality. The dead one's got none of it.
Wow.
Now, you can't measure it. That's why science hates it. They can't tell me how much life force is in you. They can't tell me how much charge is on your battery.
Yeah.
Now, your buddy's battery's lower.
Right.
My battery's higher.
Right.
I've been working on the enzymes and stuff. But they can't measure that. But they could take a picture of him and see it. And then when you recover, they can, Carillion photography can see the enzyme activity within the person, but you can't measure it. So science is like, it don't even exist.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so.
So let's talk specifically about the microfrequency.
Okay.
And how will that disrupt the cycle that he's been on? Because it's a mental, emotional, spiritual cycle that has got to be interrupted.
Well, you've got to look up different frequencies for the different areas of the brain.
Okay.
The earth has a frequency. It's called the Schumann response or something. It's right about 10 hertz, which is actually the same frequencies that our brain goes into in REM sleep when we're having dreams. So our brain and the earth sync up at the same 10 hertz frequency. We're getting grounded, okay? But the different areas of the brain have different frequencies associated with them. And the spinal cord has its own frequency. And the nerves out here have their frequencies. When the frequencies get off, it doesn't run right. Imagine a radio station, you know, and you turn it just a little bit and it's
Right.
So we're trying to bring that radio station frequency back to what the normal is. So if I know what a normal frequency is for an area of the brain and I hit that area of the brain, just the fact that they should be vibrating at the same thing, it can bring it back into resonance.
Yeah.
It can bring it back into equilibrium and harmony. So you look at the different things in the brain. Inflammation has an energy about it, and it's different than chronic inflammation. He's got acute and chronic inflammation.
Yes.
You got to treat the brain for acute and chronic
Yeah.
inflammation. The thoughts, the emotions, the things that it's been exposed to. And then also, it's not just a matter of killing inflammation, but you got to get the juices flowing. You got to increase vitality, support the secretions of the neurotransmitters. It sounds hocus pocus, but these are energies associated with these areas of the brain. So we're looking at the things that that brain could have gone back into, and how do we get it inflammation down, restore vitality, get the juices flowing. We got to balance out the mineral issues that he's got. We got to get the spinal cord from producing inflammation,
Right.
and then the body as well. And so, like layers of an onion, you try something, but with the frequency devices, you see an immediate change oftentimes. And if I get that change, I know that I've found something that'll help him.
Yeah.
And we keep doing that. And then either that's going to fix him good enough, or once we work with that, we need to look a little deeper. Yes. What about my liver and my irritable bowel and my neuropathy in my hands? So you can treat different areas. But we're using, you know, physical, chemical, energetic, spiritual. We're using energetic things because the physical, chemical wasn't working. The spiritual's not getting anywhere.
Right.
So we're going to switch over to energetic, and we're going to address these other issues through an energetic means.
Yeah, I think that's a good plan.
If the frequencies in the brain are out of kilter, there's no cortisone steroid that's going to get them back. It's an energetic problem. It needs an energetic solution.
Yeah.
But when nothing else is working, switch over to the energetic and hit it from a different, you know.
Yeah.
And if I can't get anything to help in 4, 5, 6 visits, I'll tell them, look, I'm not the guy for you. This ain't working, but let's go find the right guy.
Yeah.
But I expect results immediately. And it's not something that you got to do for months just to see.
Yeah.
You know, when you deal with energy, that's the way it works.
Well, normally, like when I deal with energy, it's like if there's my husband had a bee sting, and so I had him start doing Rife morning and night, plus putting some oils on it, and within 24, 48 hours, it was all healed. I mean, it went from being like 4 times the normal size to gone.
Yep. Yep. Energetic treatments are legitimate.
Yeah.
They're not for everybody. Probably if you think it's not going to work, it probably won't work for you.
Yeah.
But if you think it will, it's got a shot. You can shut down the body with your thoughts.
Oh, yeah. Most
But
definitely.
it's not for everybody. It doesn't always work. Sometimes you miss things, and but sometimes you get it right. And it's either going to be a miracle or nothing. There's no in between with the energetic stuff. It's not something that you've got to do forever. You're doing it for a problem. The most I ever see people is 15 visits. And if it keeps coming back, I missed something. I think that he's probably got some underlying heavy metal issues.
Yeah.
I suspect that he's got mold in the house or somewhere, or in his car or in his house. I suspect that he's still constantly being exposed to it. But also, there's just that way of thinking too. You know, it might have been a couple of years and you don't have the answer, but that don't mean the answer's not out there.
Right.
And if you say it ain't gonna work, it ain't gonna work.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
But obviously, The solution has to come from something you don't know about, because if you knew about it, you'd be doing it already. So the fact that you don't know about it means it might actually have a shot. You know, you've done everything else. There is a solution. The body can heal. You just got to start removing things. And like layers of an onion, one thing ain't going to fix everything in all four of those parameters.
Yeah.
You know, it's going to take a multifaceted approach. But you can fix a physical problem with a spiritual, mental, positive outlook.
Yeah.
Don't identify as being moldy and mercury poisoned with lime, because
Or even if it's, don't identify with today's a good day, tomorrow's not going to be a good day. Once you identify with that, then you keep yourself in that stuck pattern.
it's just a couple of different words.
It is.
I am experiencing this, not I have this.
Correct.
This is not me. And when it leaves, it never was you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
But if you identify with it, it's tough to let it go, because you will reinforce to yourself over and over, I am this way. No, you're just experiencing some weird energy.
And there's got to be a payoff. You know, if you're stuck there, there's got to be some kind of payoff you're getting from being stuck there.
Yeah, yeah. When people are stuck, the one thing is, we never want to say it's our fault. It's not my fault I'm sick. It's not my fault I'm in this. It's just something that just happened. Never mind the first 40 toxic years of all that stuff I did. Let's just forget about all that. I just happened to get sick, and I was an angel, and I was clean and healthy. No, there was a lot of stuff going on. This is life. But I don't have it. I'm just experiencing something. That little change will let you, once you get better, it will let you let it go.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, just, I experience it. It's not me.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't identify with it.
Yeah, and that's something we've been reiterated for the last 2 years as well, over and over.
Yeah.
So yeah, if we can do something to stop that, to short circuit that pattern, that default pattern of this is what I am, because it's not true.
Right.
So
Yeah.
if we can figure that out, that would be wonderful.
We do have video testimonials of people that have used frequency-specific microcurrent on our YouTube channel, Modern Chiro KY, Modern Chiropractic KY. I'm the only one that's got frequency-specific stuff on there. But we used it on a lot of things, scarring on the brain after automobile accidents. Somebody got an injection of an antibiotic called Cipro, and their muscle deteriorated, and we was able to bring that muscle back, because what they had was fluoride poisoning.
Yeah.
That's what Cipro damage is, fluoride poisoning. The frequency-specific microcurrents diagnosed it because I tried fluoride poisoning, and it worked.
Wow.
That means that's what it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so if you're stuck, look for the frequency devices. They're not all the same. Frequency-specific microcurrent is its own thing, which is different than a Rife machine.
Yeah, which is why I reached out to you, because I do not have access to that specific.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the knowledge. You
correct.
can't just set it.
Correct.
These are all custom programs that I've written for things, for specific things. And about 80% of the time they actually work. It's crazy. Yeah, we've got a real high percentage rate.
That's awesome.
We can't fix everything. The device could probably fix it, but it's just really limited by my skills as a practitioner. Sometimes I got to get out of the way and just open my mind, and a thought will come, and sometimes it works. But I don't think energetic things will ever really be accepted Western medicine, just because we so think that we can't heal ourselves and it has to come from a drug. If you think healing has to come from a drug, then your healing has to come from a drug. You've been so inundated, and you've lost the fact that the body can heal itself. So if you want to do the medical stuff, you're going to get drug shots and surgery, and your problem's going to get worse. But if you want to do energetic things like we do, or the alternative practitioners do, you can fix problems and move on and have a healthy life without drugs, shots, and surgery.
Right.
Yeah, the goal is to retire and have vital energy and not spend all your money giving your gold to the doctors who got you sick. You know, keep your stuff out of my body.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, Angela, it's great talking with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too, Mike.
And the Ark of Wellness, she's doing awesome stuff out there. Just driving out there, as soon as you turn off the road, your stress level just goes down.
It does.
Yeah, I recommend anybody looking for a getaway, for alternative healing, and looking for answers. If she can't help you, she will get you in the hands of somebody that will.
Yeah,
So.
I'm blessed with a lot of great people like you to collaborate
Right.
with.
Oh, it was good talking with you. It was a great conversation.
You too, Mike.
Thanks, Ange. Thanks, you guys.